morning, folks. Welcome back to the farm. It's a beautiful day here today. I'm a little sore today. First ever time yesterday evening playing pickleball. We didn't just play a game, we played like a tournament themed. Come out of that second place. So, maybe it's pickleball at the fire hall this week. Maybe it's Wimbledon next week. I'm not sure. Anyways, got finished up with that. Come home about 9:30 last night. Had some work to do on the computer. Worked about, it was just after midnight. Went to bed, and you could see everything you can see right now. It wasn't a full moon. It was what do they call that? A waxing gibbous or something like that. Full moon's not for another 2 days, but it was bright out here. I gotta get Aunt Jemima fired up here. Get a hay bale run out to the sheep, and I gotta top up the sheep molasses as well. And after that, when all the chores are all done, I think we're going to head over to Spring Lake. Spring Lake's opened up the ski hill again there, so Carmen's booked Charlotte in for ski lessons. So there's a fellow that she works with, actually. His daughter is the skiing instructor over there now, so that's pretty cool. So we're on over for a skiing lesson. And I'm sure there's about 1,000 other things that we got to get done today. We do have to figure out how we're going to pen the dog up during the day. The neighbor texted over about 5 o'clock in the morning, and both our dogs were over in their yard. That is a real struggle, I tell you. When you've got an acreage subdivided out of your quarter section, and we've got fence for days, but whatever, if they're chasing a coyote or a deer or whatever, they're seeing off and then end up coming back through somebody's yard, or maybe the neighbor's dogs are fussing because we both got dogs. That's a legitimate challenge. So today I am going to kick the sheep out to the east of the barn, out in the big field. First I got to get a round bale. I'm going to run that round bale out behind the barn, and then I'll kick them loose out there. I'll refill all the molasses lick tanks. And I did feed a straw bale earlier in the week because we reintroduced them to that molasses. And I just wanted something a little bit rougher in their guts, along with the hay. So they got some hay, they got some straw. Most of that they're going to bed down in. Some of that I'll have to grab the grapple here and probably relocate it. Alright, the weather's been nice here the last couple of days. A little bit windy. The guy's taking his life in his own hands, kind of crossing the yard a little bit. Got to have those spikes in the bottom of my boots to get around without causing too much trouble. There's a bunch of sheep droppings on the floor in here. I wonder how that's possible. Maybe if the wife went out the back door and a bunch of sheep got in the barn here that I don't know about. Anyways, everybody's locked out now, but I'm going to lock them. I'll lock them in the lambing pen where they're currently at, so they can't get out. They can't get out to the east here to the field. And they can run the bale out there. And then when we're all done, we can get back out there. I think this summer back here in behind the barn, you can see what we did is we had an existing fence line that ran all the way down there, ran all the way over to where the water is. And then we thought, it'd be really good if we just put a barn right here. So we just cut the fence. And I never really did anything permanent with it last summer. But this summer coming up, I think I'm definitely going to have to auger a post in there and auger a post in there and put up more of a permanent gate here, because these panels, although they work pretty slick, you get this freeze thaw, and in the bottom of those panels freezing the ground, then you need 9 minutes of billy goat to get them things pulled out of the ice without kind of bending or wrecking anything. I could always come up with a tractor and just grab them and pop them out, but they're thin enough. The old made in Malaysia or whatever they are. I don't think it's Malaysia. I think it's Taiwan. But anyway, it doesn't matter where they're made. At the end of the day, it's pretty thin, like low grade steel. Just meant for sheep. It's not meant for cows or horses or nothing like that. You can bend them and wreck them pretty easy. I have to figure something better out for next year there for sure. I'd be curious for the other sheep farmers out there, Chad Tosh especially, because he kind of knows a lot about this, where you've got gates and you got snowpack that comes up you still want the gate to be able to swing. Have you ever hung like a piece of 2 3/8 pipe or something on a chain that swivels so that you could still move the gate and that thing could swing out of the way, but it discouraged the sheep or the goats from going under the fence? Is that a thing? Or how do you manage the gap underneath and a gate where you got to come through in the tractor and you can't put something up there? Just curious. All right, got my hay bale out in the field there. Where is it at? Right over there. And I'm gonna get the panel open for the sheeps. Let them come through. Come on, girls. Jeepers, it's slippery there. Here, sheep. Here, sheep. Come on, ladies. Here, sheep. They're having a time. They already got stuff to eat there. They don't need more stuff over here. I might have to go motivate them. Here, sheep. Here, sheep. Hey, you're not hungry at all, hey? Come on, sheep. Come on, ladies. It's very slippery over here. You be careful. I don't know who's got better traction, me or you, but I feel if you rush me at this gate, it's going to be you that has better traction and me that has footprints on his face. Come on, ladies. Gently as she goes. Hey, just hold up. Let me get free. All right. Now go. This is slippery there. All right. Go get yourself some treats. All right. I got my pail of molasses here to top up the lick tank for them sheep. Sheep's got a sweet tooth. When I get up to the shop here, I think I'm going to have to check the tracking number on that snowmobile air filter I got shipped out of Houston. It's kind of crazy, eh? Like, parts for a snowmobile come out of Houston, Texas, where maybe it snowed like 3 or 4 times in the history of Houston, Texas. Don't imagine they sell any, like not one single snowmobile there ever. But that's where they got the parts for it. But I had to find that one off of eBay, and I got thinking, well, like eBay used to be the thing. Like I remember, 2007, 2008, you could buy anything you wanted off eBay. You wanted a brand new toaster oven, go to eBay. You wanted, Russian war medals, you could buy that. You want anything you wanted. You could buy parts for anything off eBay. But now, like eBay's kind of, I don't know, maybe it hasn't subsided. Maybe definitely I go to it less and less. Maybe not at all, except for this one case. But lots of that stuff can be found on like Amazon and stuff. But so if you're looking for obscure stuff on the internet, what's your go-to website? Let me know. I got whiplash here. I don't know if anybody else has one of these international tractors with high range and park side by side on the shifter. So you go to throw it in park and accidentally throw it in high, and then pop your foot off the clutch, and it's just like wham, like you're coming out of the chutes on a bucking bull. Well, that was exciting for about 1.5 seconds. I just caught the big white dog there, trying to chew up the kid's little slip and slide toboggan here. He's got a few bite marks in it. The only reason he couldn't chew that thing up to nothing was it kept sliding away on him. Kind of funny to watch. I just went back to the chicken house to get her little Rubbermaid tote there. Forgot it in there the other day, and the chickens had it all run around in the bottom of the pen. But I noticed there was some oranges in the bottom of the compost pile there. They got there by accident. If you're using the deep litter method, if you're making compost, or if you're collecting food from the Loop program, or even if you're just sending out your own kitchen scraps, citruses, so oranges, lemons, limes, grapefruits, things like that, they don't compost very well. Chickens won't eat them. So best to just chuck them out in the middle of the yard, let them decompose naturally. So there are a couple of foods you probably shouldn't feed your chickens. Some just by default, they really won't eat them anyways. One of those, of course, like I just said, is citruses. Won't really do them any harm necessarily, but you're kind of wasting your time giving it to them. Chocolate, coffee, like those caffeinated things, no point in giving that to them. It's really bad for them, actually. Chocolate specifically, just like dogs, right? It's toxic to them. And onions, yeah, onions, another one. Won't compost very well, has allelopathic properties, kills off a lot of bacteria. You've always seen that thing, like cut an onion slice and tape it to the bottom of your foot, it'll draw the bacteria out. Similarly, in the compost pile, it'll draw bacteria to it, and then it just becomes a dead spot in your compost pile for some reason. So no point in putting that in your deep litter, no point in putting that in your chicken feed. Toxic to chickens, also toxic to dogs. So no onions, no garlic. Now, that doesn't mean like if there's a little bit of onion in there because you know, whatever, not a big deal, but just don't like throw a whole raw onion in there. There's no point in doing that. Anyways, today we're feeding cheese buns and squashed up croissants. Is that how you say that? I think like in England we say croissants, but I think the proper way is croissant. Anyways, we're gonna feed a lot of croissant today and a lot of cheese buns. One thing I definitely noticed since we started on with this loop program is like I was always very, very aware of how much food come up the back door of the grocery store and straight into the dumpster. Or maybe I wasn't aware of how much. I thought it was lots. It's actually lots and lots. But what's become more aware to me is not only how much like perfectly good food is getting thrown out that we can feed to our animals. Such a sin. Like overproduction is such a sin. But also packaging. Like the amount of packaging that comes through our hands and then ends up getting discarded. And little things like bread manufacturers, right? They do this virtue signaling. Like they'll put on these, you know, cardboard bread clips, and then wrap the whole bag in plastic. Like I've been saving all these plastic bread clips that come off of like hamburger buns and stuff. Like I don't have a ton of them, right? That's all I've got in the last couple months. The plastic ones. But the cardboard ones, like I just throw them right in the compost pile with the feed. But then the bag, like what are we doing? Like put that little paper clip on there. Like why wouldn't we just put a paper bag and then seal it up with tape or whatever, and then people could, you know, if you want to have a reusable bread bag or something like that at home, that seems to be a more progressive way to manage this, but maybe I'm wrong. Just after lunch here, I got a little mess. I got one little mess. The other little mess is with Mama. We're just heading off to Beaver Lodge, go to the co-op, and then we're going to rip over to Hythe, go up there, get our loop load picked up. Then we're ripping up to Spring Lake, to the ski hill up there, and see about a little bit of gravity defiance.
Up the hill. Almost home time anyway. Time is at 3:30 probably. 3:35. We got 25 more minutes. We gotta get a couple more runs in. 2 or 3 more.